right, all right, all right, all right. Playoff, playoffs, 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 playoffs. That's what we're talking about today. We're not talking about anything else. Get that off my hand. There we go. That way people know that I got hair here. It's not the most beautiful hair, but there's hair, you know. But yes, this is fresh and funky. This is the playoffs divisional round. Talk about some playoffs today. Playoffs. We got the Chiefs and the Jaguars going at it here. Less than a half an hour here in snowy Kansas City, Missouri. So, can Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, call them the cardiac Jaguars, can they build on that 27-point upset comeback? Third biggest third biggest margin of comeback victory in playoff postseason history, may I add. So, I don't know. I think Mahomes and them got the magic to go here. It's been one of those seasons, but don't count the Jaguars out here today. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on the record right now and say this right now. In order for the Jaguars to win today, Travis Etienne is going to have a big game. Have to have a big game. I'm talking 20 plus carries. We're talking. He's gonna have to have probably about 5 or 6, receptions. You know, um, Trevor Lawrence is gonna have to get the ball up. Trevor Lawrence is gonna have to run a little bit. I think today he's gonna have to, make this team you know, take them to the next level, as they speak. But Mahomes is going to do the same thing on his side of the ball, and I think Travis Kelce today has playoff big game today for Travis Kelce. Mahomes and Kelce will hook up, and we'll have a great game. Obviously the defenses, obviously Chris Jones for the but I like Willie Gay. I think he's very admirable linebacker for the Chiefs. Bolton as well here. I think his name is Nick Bolton as well. I think obviously my man L'Jarius Sneed. You got to have the speed. You got to have the speed for Sneed out there. And for the Jaguars, you got this hungry young Jaguar defense out there. You got Josh Allen. Then you got Travion Walker here, their first round draft pick, their number one. So we got some big time football coming your way here, and just if you just I mean I'd say less than that. I would say less than an hour or so. Half an hour, probably 45 minutes or so away from football here. We have that game. Then we have the late game here on Fox tonight. Here, the Giants versus the Eagles here. Daniel Jones and the Giants here. Brian Daboll's got these guys, got the Giants believing. Don't stop believing. But we got the Eagles out here playing, a different type of football here today. And we're going to see, if the Eagles are for real here in the playoffs today here. Is Jalen Hurts and the Eagles taking the next steps to, possibly putting themselves in a chance to go to the championship game next Sunday here, and possibly quite playing themselves into the Super Bowl here. But we're going to have to see here. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to have a solid, significant game. Miles Sanders is going to be able to run the ball well, efficiently, and effectively here. Obviously, the offensive line is going to be able to block and, stop Hurts from getting sacked or pressured or forced to throw something when he doesn't necessarily want to. And, on the other side of the ball, can Saquon continue to be Quad Barkley here? He's just the man. He just, had 2 touchdowns last week against especially the last one. The last one, he just took Dalvin Tomlinson, this big fucking huge defensive tackle, and then just, I want to see Saquon Barkley do that on the goal line against this Philadelphia Eagles defense here, against the Dominic Sues. We know Dominic Sue's going to be playing today. So, in Philadelphia Eagles defense, are they going to be able to pressure and, get that line, you know, intends to try to stop Daniel Jones and force him into some turnovers. And think it's going to be a well planned out game. I mean, obviously, all we've seen games that have gone divisional. Obviously, we saw the Ravens and the Bengals game was a lot more closer than we thought it was going to be. The Bills and the Dolphins game was a lot more closer than a lot of people thought. So hey, we're going to see today here what the Giants have done here, and they won on the road here, and the Giants have. And that was the first, road win the Giants have had in a long time, just like the Cowboys. The Cowboys got their first road win since 1992. And the Cowboys tomorrow afternoon, will be playing in Santa Clara against the 49ers. And then obviously we have the Bills and Bengals on the early game tomorrow, which is going to be a blockbuster. I'd say definitely, a must see football tomorrow morning is going to be all eyes set on Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. That is for sure. But then it turns to the late window where you have the Cowboys and Niners. It wouldn't be playoff football without a 49ers and Dallas Cowboys matchup here. It will be the ninth meeting between these teams. So we definitely going to see what happens, what's going to transpire. Cowboys actually lead the series, 5 games, 5 wins for the Cowboys, and 3 losses here. So the Niners, obviously recently Niners got them last season. Does the Dak Prescott and the Cowboys go on some revenge tour part 2 here? They took down Brady and the Bucks, who kind of was a thorn in their side last season and the beginning of this season, but took care of business. Will the Cowboys be able to take care of business in Santa Clara and move on and possibly face one of their divisional rivals as well? Make it a divisional rivalry, NFC Championship game here between the Giants and Cowboys, or the Eagles and Cowboys, or does it become a Niners and Giants? Niners and Giants, they have playoff history. Eagles and Niners, I believe they have a little bit of playoff history, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we'll have to look more into that later on. We're sticking to just today's games and tomorrow's games, and really good football action here. We definitely in store. What is weather going to play an impact? Obviously, it's going to be snowing in Kansas City here, in Philadelphia. Hopefully, it'll be nicer weather in Philadelphia. We'll see here. We'll have to see here as far as the weather's concerned here. But yeah, I know we haven't really been doing too much. Oh, it's gonna be 40 degrees and like snow showers, sleet possibly there at Kansas City, Missouri. And we have 44 degrees, not too much to deal with. It's Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA tonight here. So not too bad to talk about here. And tomorrow's games, 33 degrees. No, it's gonna be a bombing, pretty chilly game to start. Chilly cold, but not too cold. And Cowboys and Niners, just a little bit of clouds here, 56. So probably the warmest of the games. Let's say this weekend will be in that Santa Clara. I like to call them the Santa Clara Niners, not the San Francisco Niners, because they don't play in San Francisco anymore. They play in Santa Clara. And so, yeah, Cowboys 12-5, 4-4 on the road in this season. Your Niners 13-4, 8-1 at home. Bills 13-3, 7-1 at home. Bengals 12-4, 6-3 on the road. Then we have Eagles 14-3, 7-2 at home. Giants are 9-7-1, 4-4, just like the Cowboys on the road this season. Chiefs are 14-3, 7-1 at home, and Jaguars 9-8, 4-5 on the road. So kind of a all the home teams have only lost one game, except for Philadelphia lost 2 home games. So that kind of bodes well for the Giants. If we're trying to look at different angles for teams to win here. You know, so we definitely excited for that here. Obviously, today we got some players, talk about. Obviously, the first game that's going to start here, like I said, here at about 1:30 here, 1:30 West Coast time. Obviously, 4:30 East Coast time. So obviously, you're gonna we're gonna be seeing some night football here, and not so much in the early parts of this Kansas City game, later part in that game, but definitely a night football for the whole game of the Giants and Eagles for sure here. But yes, we're back at it here, talking sports here, fresh and funky here. Usually we're not here on a Saturday talking sports or doing anything like that. But we've kind of been lazy this week. We kind of just been kind of like school daisy in some type of ways. But it's okay here. Weekends are for relaxing and taking it easy. So, so if anybody wants to come in here, we're going to say, let's put the poll up here. I'm going to put a poll here. Which game? And then, yeah. All right, there we go. There's the options here. We put the poll out here. Which is the better game today? The Jaguars, Chiefs, the Giants, and Eagles here. So, just a little poll question for anybody that decides to come in here while we're doing this live stream and such. So we will leave that poll question up for anybody that wants to come in here. And if anybody's got any questions about anything, we did take a player prop here. It did take a player prop here in these games here, today's games here. And we'll read it off as such here. I'm taking Daniel Jones to throw an interception. I know Danny Dimes has been he's been all but not dropping dimes right now. But I need him to drop a dime today here. Jalen Hurts to have a rushing touchdown. I think Jalen's more than capable of doing that today, especially against the Giants defense here. They're vulnerable enough to give it, but we'll see. And I have Travis Etienne to have under 16 rushing attempts here, which if the Jaguars are going to win, he's definitely going to have that way north, going up like at least 22 carries, 25, almost to 30. I have Patrick Mahomes to have over 24 and a half rushing yards. I think Patrick Mahomes will be able to have to use his legs a little bit here today to help out. Then we have Isaiah Pacheco to have over 7.5 receiving yards. I like that a lot here. I think Pacheco is going to be a viable option here. Obviously, him and Jerick McKinnon, ex-Minnesota Viking here, and Niner. But yeah, I think that definitely we have to like as far as these are the guys that I think that are really going to have the impacts on the teams here. Obviously, if Daniel Jones doesn't throw picks and their turnovers like he did against the Vikings, obviously the Giants I think have a really good solid chance to win. And Jalen Hurts here, if he can get the ball and rush the ball here, I think that gives the Eagles, and that's basically saying the Giants are on the ropes here. And Travis Etienne to have under 16 rushing, and unless the Jaguars get down, and then they can't, they have to, they basically, if the Jaguars are down, like that's to say they get down again by, let's just not say 20 points here. Let's just say they get down by 17 today. You know, do they scrap the run game a little bit here and just, and start to chuck it a little bit more so that they. And Patrick Mahomes here, does he have the opportunity, or do the Jaguars kind of try to keep him in there and keep Patrick Mahomes minimalize his his big play because we know with Patrick Mahomes, he likes to make those big plays with his, whether it be his arm or whether it be his leg, his intelligence, and trying to be creative to try to help his team win. Do everything do everything you need a quarterback to do to win yourself a championship. He's already has a Super Bowl under his belt. He wants to get more. Okay, he's not greedy, but he knows what he's capable of doing, and he knows what this team is capable of doing. So that's why I really like the Chiefs today, and I think they could really, put the hurting onto the Jags today. I feel like the Jaguars, they've got, they played themselves well into the playoffs and getting to where they need to be here. This is a great start here, but I just don't see them as the better team, and I feel like today, you know, yeah, they have a little bit of mojo going for them here, but that could easily just swing in the way momentum towards the Chiefs here. But who knows? Maybe the Jaguars are the dark horse team that nobody's seeing or thinking can actually make a run in the playoffs. And as far as betting odds and people just saying, well, what would be a sneaky team? Well, definitely the Jaguars. Nobody's definitely penning them into winning a championship or even making to the Super Bowl here at this point here. And obviously the Giants too as well. Is another team that most people aren't counting on and think that they can't get past Philly. And so I think that those two teams here today, if they could prove that they can keep their teams and not shoot themselves in the foot with penalties or turn the fucking ball over. That was with any team, even the good teams, even the teams that are on a rolls and all that. If you turn the ball over and you can't capitalize and you don't, it begins to be a harder game. And the playoffs, mistakes are even more so hurtful than in the regular season. In the playoffs, this is where you got to make your bread and butter. This is where you got to make your bread and butter. Because if you don't, then you're basically just kind of screwed. And that's how I see it. I see it as when you're going into the battle, you have to take that mindset into, hey, we have to marginalize and minimize our mistakes, because if we make mistakes, it's going to be costly. Cost us the game, cost us a shot at everything. And unless, like, you start forcing turnovers, the other team starts, you know, because it's momentum. Football is momentum based as far as, okay, getting this and that. And basketball is a game of runs. There's always going to be, you're going to have runs. Teams are always going to get runs, and then it's about how do you counter the other team's runs? Can you counter a team's run? Or does a team go big time on your ass? And that's talking about the aspects of sports. That's what we're looking at here. As we're looking at as, but yeah. So yeah, 1:30 here, 1:30. So we're about 24 minutes away from kickoff here from Kansas City and Jacksonville here. So I figured we'd just get on here and talk a little bit about this game here, and obviously the Giants and Eagles here. So if there's anybody out there that wants to talk sports here, we're watching the games, and we're going to be talking about this here a bit here, and then we'll obviously sign off. But I wanted to get, like I said, just wanted to get up on here and talk sports because I have not been doing that as of late. Been doing my music thing a lot more, but it's okay because I love doing music as well. Sports and music have been a passion. It's been things that I've grown up with, and I love doing, and I don't need to be monetized and make money off of it. That's just something I do, and just personally preference and a passion, and things that just I'm not somebody special, or I'm not somebody that you know has to get paid to talk about it or pay for my points. I feel like I like to talk with other people to see what kind of gauge their points and see where they're coming at. What because you know that's healthy conversation, healthy dialogue, good and bad, and as far as debates, that's what makes debates so good is when you have people that can debate both sides of the points, but both it's just not okay. It's not just stupid debate where there's no hardly any points you can go off. You can go off certain examples, this that example. So, all right.
Maturity of this team.
Yeah, Michelle. All right, you're in the sports thing. All right, you're in the sports cast.
NBA parlay too.
Sports cast. Little sports cast. All right, Michelle. All right. Yeah, talk about the Jaguars here, right? You're gonna talk about them Jaguars, right? You're talking about them Chiefs. You're gonna talk about them Giants. You gotta talk about them Eagles. You're gonna talk about your Cowboys, Niners, Niners. But that'll be usually for tomorrow. But but yeah, we're just just getting down here, making our parlays, parlay. All right. Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's right. I have my casino chip. That's just funny. But let's talk about the lines in today's games. Let's talk about lines in today's games here. We got the Kansas City Chiefs minus 9.5 here on the points line here, on the spread here. We have Jacksonville plus 390 on the money line as a big underdog here. We have 52 points is the over under so far, the total. I definitely can understand why they say there are going to be some points here. Obviously, because Trevor Lawrence and them could put points up in a hurry like they could do, and maybe the Chiefs. Maybe this is more of a shootout than we think it's going to be, but I don't know. Like I said, I think Jaguars, coming back from 27, it takes a lot out of a team. But we're going to see what they're made of. They're a young team, and we're going to see how resilient, how much fight they got in them, and especially if they get down again today here, we're going to definitely have to see if they still got that same fight to come back to be able to win. Or do, the Chiefs go on again and, try to march on to help Mahomes solidify the Mahomes dynasty. But I don't know. I mean, minus 9.5. I mean, do the Chiefs win by that much? I mean, I think they probably could, especially if the Jaguars just turn the ball over and it just becomes an ugly game. Like if Trevor Lawrence has another 4-pick performance in the first half here, I think that'll be my Sharona. And I'm not talking about Mike Sharona, the singer of fucking Linkin Park. I'm talking about the song My Sharona. Mm-hmm. Simply irresistible. Yeah, sunshine with the Jaguars. Sunshine. That's what I like to call it. That's what I call Trevor Lawrence. He looks like Sunshine from Remembering the Titans. Like, I mean, was that him really playing Remember the Titans? And he's really now in the NFL now, all grown up. But yeah, Jaguars and Chiefs definitely, understandable why the line is the way it is. But I don't know. I can see the Jaguars fighting, but I don't know. I don't know. Definitely like the Chiefs, in my opinion here. And the over under 52. A lot of these games have been over here. So I mean, maybe this game goes under the 52 here. And then we have the Giants and the Eagles here. Eagles minus the 8. Giants plus the 8 here. Giants are plus 300 on the money line underdogs and 48 points here. So, um, like I said, I think the Giants definitely got a good chance, a good fighting chance here against the Eagles. It'd be interesting to see how the Eagles come out and play here. I mean, we know the Giants, come out and they played well on the road against the Vikings, and it showed. But how are they going to come out today here is going to speak volumes here. If the Giants can come out firing, and I think the Giants have a really good shot, especially if they don't turn the ball over, they don't commit penalties. I surely think that they got a chance to beat the Eagles here today. And then uh, the Eagles win by do the Eagles win by 8 here? It's tricky here because I think the Jaguars and the Giants are on the similar path here. But I think the Giants Giants are facing a foe they know. They know the Eagles, they know them in and out, so it's gonna be something that both teams have not used, and both teams have not showed each other a wrinkle or something that it's gonna have to be the difference because. So that's why I think the Giants have a really good shot at keeping this game close here. Like I said, and the Jaguars here, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Kansas City. But would it surprise me if the Jaguars played well out the gates and Kansas City kind of was a little nervous here and there? But I don't know. I mean, this is a different Kansas City team. I mean, on last year's team, I'd say okay. This year's team, I mean, we were seeing the Bills, the way they did against the Dolphins, kind of worrisome. See the Niners in the first half, but then they blew the doors open in the second half, and the Bills basically held on. I mean, Bengals basically, they played a tough divisional game, and the Giants played the Vikings a very close game, and in my opinion, was one of probably the best. I mean, obviously the Chargers and Jaguars was the best game of the week, obviously because of comeback. But I think that ultimately, game for pound, game from game, I think the Giants and Vikings was another a great one. And then basically the Cowboys took care of business against Tom Brady, and you like to see that here. Everybody's talking all this smack about Cowboys ain't shit and this and that. Well, they took out Tom Brady in the playoffs. Okay, I mean, yeah, maybe it's old time Tom now. I don't know. Maybe it's not the same Tom. I don't know. But still, getting a win against Brady in the postseason probably means a hell of a lot more than getting a win against him in the regular season. I'll just say that. So that carries some weight here. The Cowboys got a little bit of weight right now. They took down Tom Brady, and the Buccaneers. Was it the healthiest, most Buccaneers team? No, but you gotta play the games with whoever you have. I mean, we can sit here and say, well, if this team was healthy, then they probably wouldn't have lost to this team. Well, that's it. It's what's happened. What's you know. It doesn't matter, team's healthy or not. You got to play the guys that you have. That's why you have a team. It's not just, it's just not superstar acquired. You need your superstars to help you win games, but it's a team effort, a team sport, and helps you win. It's like soccer. You can have your stars in soccer, but if you don't have a great team that works together as a team and plays together as a team and believes as a team and functions like a team, then you're not going to get wins. You're going to be fucking taking L's and losses all day long. So, but yeah, if I have to take a side in either of these games here, And we'll go double dips, double dip splits here. I'm gonna take the Chiefs on the money line, and I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna go. I'll say Chiefs in the over 52 here. This next game, I'm gonna take the Giants plus the 8, and I'm gonna take the under 48 here. Just because I believe it's a divisional matchup, and I believe these teams are going to. And if both defenses can play tough here against each other, then I like that a lot. And I think that I think the Giants definitely have a fighting shot here. So I mean, so we're taking our playoff picks here. Let's write that down here, and that way we know exactly what we did, how we did. And I'm already yawning. Like, oh, why are you yawning? All right, our playoff picks here. We'll have our NFL playoff picks here. NFL playoff picks here. So we got the Chiefs money line here, obviously. -5, -515. Then we have the under or the over. The over 52 points here in the Jags and Chiefs. All right. Then we have the Giants +8 here on the spread here. We took Giants. I want everybody to know that we took Giants last week, and I mean a Vikings fan picking the money. And I mean, I mean, I love my team. I wanted my team to win, but you know, sometimes when you put your money where your mouth is, you definitely got to know where you're putting your money where your mouth is. And I felt like the Giants were gonna beat my team here, even in a close-up matchup here. I felt like that, but my team fought very tremendously hard, and we won 13 games. I believe we need to get a better defensive coordinator and to shore up that defense. And the offense, there's little things that little things here, obviously build up the line a little bit more here and there. I think offensively we're not too far away. I think defensively we're a coach and we're some players still away from being a really solid, dominating Purple People Eater defense. So. All right, so that goes with the playoffs there. Um, and tomorrow, let's say if I'm taking tomorrow's games here, I'll take Cincinnati plus that and I'm gonna say the over 49. And then I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna say Cowboys and the under 46 tomorrow here. Those are my. Anybody wants to know my picks early? I'm going Bengals plus the 5.5 on the spread. Taking the over 49 points here in that game as well. Over 49. And the Bengals and Bills here. I'm taking the Cowboys in the upset here. Cowboys on the money line here. That's 168 here. And the under 46.5. Cowboys 49ers here. So those are my playoff picks for the weekend here. Those are my playoff picks as far as if I'm going to the booth right now to make my last minute ticket booth purchase here. If I'm just playing today's games, I'm taking the Chiefs money line, the over 52, and the Jags and Chiefs. I'm taking the Giants plus the 8 points on the spread, and the in the under 48. Oop, Giants and Eagles there. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, where am I missing? I'm missing something over here. But yeah, so if I took all these 8 here, and then tomorrow we got the Bengals plus the 5.5 on the spread here, and the over 49, Cowboys money line plus 168, and the under 46.5 here. So took one over, one under, same thing, So do 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 do. That's what we think here. That's what we think so far. So we're about 7 minutes away from kickoff here. 7 minutes from kickoff here. Um, let's get some fantasy factors here for today's games here. Um, like I said, I think Travis Etienne for the Jaguars. Travis Etienne is going to have to really, really, really be a star factor. And receivers here, obviously Ingram's going to have to be solid here. Christian Kirk for the Jaguars. For the Chiefs, I think, obviously, Juju, Kadarius Toney, Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, definitely going to have a big game. Jared McKinnon. So, and maybe, Juju on that beat. But as far as defense here, I mean, Jaguars, I'd say the Jaguars' young defense, their secondary here, being able to, I feel as though if the Jaguars' secondary can disguise some coverages and blitzes and stuff like that, I think if they can come up big, because we all know that if you can blitz Mahomes and this and that, but can you stop Mahomes from getting the ball down the field? If you could stop Mahomes from making big plays down the field, you obviously he's going to make plays with his legs here and there, but what kills you more? His legs with his movement with the ball, running it, or when he kind of just pretends like he's going to run it and then throws it and just kind of dashes and gets one of those passes that ends up for a big gain. That's the ones that you gotta limit. And as far as the Chiefs here, like I said, I think their guy on the edge here, their rookie, the Greek, he was his name, George Kalafkas. I think if he can get in there here, some of those young guys, some of the young Kansas City defensive guys, I think if they can help out Chris Jones, I think that's going to solidify them, really dominating the game and setting the tone for the team. Giants, I would say definitely, Isaiah Hodgkins and Daniel Bellinger, if those guys can come up really big here today here. Saquon, I think definitely can be another. We look at the Eagles. Obviously, Jalen Hurts. But what about Dallas Goedert here? What about Devontae Smith here? We obviously know that AJ Brown's going to be there. We know, can Miles Sanders as well step up here? And as far as the defense here, can the Giants defense stop Jalen Hurts from getting rushing touchdowns and being able to be efficient running the ball, being a two-headed monster with the running back core, and can they force Jalen Hurts into some bad reads to get some picks, maybe. I think that bodes well as far as factors for the Giants. For the Eagles, just being able to get pressure on Daniel Jones. I think if they get pressure on Jones, I think that basically breaks down. And obviously, limiting Saquon, because I mean, if you let Saquon just do whatever, but you just but if because right now I think Daniel Jones is really in the big time in a rhythm. I think Saquon's just feeding off that here, and he's just being healthy enough to be Saquon. But I feel like he's feeding off that because Daniel Jones is getting the ball out and being able to be precise and being able to hit some reads, and it was because the Minnesota Vikings got hardly any pressure. We didn't get no pressure. We weren't able to force some bad things. They're just to get them out of their spot. And when the quarterback, you want to get them out their spot, out their comfort. You want them to just not be. You want them to just be hey. You want them to say, "Well, shit," where they're too busy. They're not so much like okay, and they're just kind of just naturally fluently just being themselves and just letting the game come to them. They're just basically freaking out and just oh, what are we? Oh man, you just kind of just overthinking things, and then that leads to a lot of bad turn of events. But yeah, so that's what we got there here. So we got football time here. We got the football time. So I'm gonna sign off here. We're gonna watch some of the games, get crazy, get crunk, and get loud, get wild. We'll be back tonight for the music stream. So tune in for that. Tune in for that. But we will be back tomorrow again. Talk sports. We'll have to be a little bit earlier here to talk the other games here. So, but we'll talk other sports here, and then we'll probably pop in a little bit, like I said, a little bit later here. Maybe before the Giants game starts, talk a little bit about sports and what's going on and everything else, and then we'll so we might have a little part two of this. So stay tuned. But anyway, just enjoy your Saturday, whichever how you're spending it, and may the winners be yours. Maybe we watch some exciting football games, and maybe we just enjoy an amazing time in life. All right. So for now, peace out.